can see the future! Hey, look, one survived. Oh no, they can see me! I have to stop you from destroying my race! In the future!
We already did that.
I know you'd do that!
Team 4-Star, they always are good for a laugh. Hello Internet, and welcome to another episode of Romney's Reviews. Now, I was initially planning on reviewing 3 films at once in this episode, but yeah, 3 films, that's a lot of work and a long time, so I'm basically gonna have to pan this out over the course of 3 weeks. Now, given that I'm not in the best financial situation, that is probably gonna work out that well because I probably won't get to watch any movies for a while. Don't worry, I will watch The Dark Knight. That will be the next major film I review. But in the meantime, we'll be taking a look at the live-action adaptations of Dragon Ball, starting with Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. If you've been living under a rock for the past 20 or 30 years, Dragon Ball is a popular, long-running manga series created by Akira Toriyama, first published in 1984 in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump. It has since been adapted into 4 anime series, over 16 animated films, not counting TV specials, and 3 reported live-action films, the first 2 being unofficial adaptations, the first of which we are taking a look at today. Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins is an unofficial Chinese adaptation of the Dragon Ball manga, and is loosely based on the first animated film, Legend of Shenron, known here stateside as Curse of the Blood Rubies. This is an unofficial adaptation, so changes are expected, if not absolutely necessary. They're essentially kind of doing the same thing that F.W. Murnau did when he made his film Nosferatu, basically changing the characters' names and a few certain details to try to avoid getting sued. Which 9 times out of 10 doesn't quite work, but this film is in the minority of ones that didn't get sued. The changes to the names are as follow. Goku is referred to this film, at least in the English dub, as Monkey Boy. Bulma's character is named Sito. Goku's grandfather, Gohan, is referred to as Sparkle for some strange reason. Then Oolong is referred to as Piggy. Yamcha is referred to as Westwood, at least in the English dub, I must reiterate that. Puar is, instead of having a talking cat, is replaced by a talking cockatoo known as Miss Snow White. And Master Roshi is just simply titled the Turtle Man, or the Turtle Hermit. Now, although the character names are changed, you'll notice that a lot of stuff is almost instantly recognizable. First off is the sort of MacGuffin, the Dragon Pearl. While it is clear and different in color from how the Dragon Balls look in both the manga and the anime, you'll notice that it does have the stars etched into it, making it look pretty uncanny. If you were to shine a certain light through it, it probably would look exactly like a Dragon Ball. However, certain things stay the same. For example, how Goku first meets Bulma, mistaking the car for a monster. Then you'll also notice how certain characters are translated better than others. For example, we get Piggy, who is the equivalent of Oolong, being introed as someone who's chasing after a girl. And then we get the equivalent for Master Roshi, who's essentially recreated incredibly faithfully. That surprised me, to see someone actually play and write Master Roshi as the perverted old man he actually is.
I've never seen a girl as pretty as you, I want to see you without any clothes on.
Now, little changes aside, the first thing I really must hand to this film is its use of special effects. I mean, these kind of special effects, although they may seem simple now with some of them, they're still infinitely more realistic than any CGI bullcrap we tend to be confronted with nowadays. I kind of have a soft spot for these kind of special effects because they're a lot like the tokusatsu special effects that you see in older episodes of the Super Sentai series, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, etc. And again, it's just a case of practical effects just work a lot better than, well, anything you can make with a computer. You can definitely tell they did their research because these characters fly, they do the best they can with the magic cloud or flying nimbus, depending on which version of the story you're reading, as well as a lot of the energy blasts, a lot of the special attacks they do, as well as the summoning of the dragon. Basically, the effects in this film are actually really well made. I mean, even the dub isn't that bad, and the characters are actually recreated very faithfully. Although the names are changed, they do keep a lot of the important stuff, like how Yamcha freezes up whenever he sees a girl, which in his case is really bad because not only does he encounter Bulma's character, but there's also the character of Jade, so he kind of stuck in a 2-for-1 scenario. Now, another thing I can definitely say about this film is that the martial arts are done really, really well. You can tell that these people knew what they were doing because the fights look impressive and still keep their fantastical elements, as well as injecting the occasional bits of humor here and there, which is common in the Dragon Ball manga itself. Now, one thing that I definitely have to explain here is that a lot of the changes you may notice is not necessarily changes that are to just hide from copyright, but more changes to reflect a certain source material.
I'm the 91st descendant of the Pig Fairy, sir. And they call me the Pig-Headed Wizard.
A pig fairy? Hey, Grandpa said I'm the 91st descendant of the Monkey King.
Oh, so that means centuries ago, your ancestor and mine were brothers.
You see, Dragon Ball started out as a loose adaptation of the Chinese novel Journey to the West, and so you'll see in this film that it takes a few more liberties from Journey to the West than it does from Dragon Ball. However, it keeps into the spirit of the source material, which is something, you know, that I kind of like. If you're on the prowl for a Dragon Ball film that isn't completely abysmal, this is one I definitely recommend. And it's available in English and in its entirety on YouTube, link in the description. So, you get pretty good special effects, pretty cool fight scenes, it's true to the spirit of the original source material. I mean, this film is a pretty good film. However, where it loses me is certain moments with the dub, as well as just certain pacing issues, because it does seem to drag on a little bit, because it takes a very episodic pattern, much like both Dragon Ball and Journey to the West, but from a filmmaking standpoint, some things could have been trimmed a little bit. So I'm going to give Dragon Ball The Magic Begins a 3.5 out of 5. It's definitely a good film, definitely worth your time if you're looking for something that's a little, well, lighthearted and just fun to watch. Especially if you're a fan of the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z anime. This is probably as close a representation that you can probably get without having to suffer through a whole bunch of other, well, BS. But we'll get to that in later episodes. So this is the first of the Dragon Ball live-action films. Next week, we're going to be taking a look at a Dragon Ball adaptation from South Korea.
But it's strange. Why should your chest be bigger? Hey, can I take a look? Hey, you can't touch me. My grandpa said that too. He said a boy mustn't touch a girl. He said that those who do are called babies. That's right.